Michigan doing the unthinkable.
Huge potential
He gets one. He gets two.
That is beautiful front to back right there.
Up 3-1 Eastern. Looking good, feeling good. Life is good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an EMU Esports stream. We're back with some more Overwatch, and I've got a very special guest with me here today, Mr. P-Band.
Yeah, it's PB and Jake here. You can just call me Jake. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, okay, fine. You can call me P-Band if you want to. Sure.
We are back with our final regular season match for our Overwatch team here. We are currently sitting at 4-0, top of our group, as everybody would expect.
Mm-hmm.
We are going up against Western Michigan's club team today. Currently sitting at 2-2 on the regular season. Expecting a good match here today. Maybe a bit more resistance than we faced in the last couple of weeks, but obviously, we're still expecting easy 3-0.
Yeah, I expect this one's going to probably be a little bit closer, but I believe in our team. We got this.
Yeah. It's end of the season. You can see the team getting ready over there. You got Rage still in a TXCXX, as we like to say.
Good old 1v1s.
Still warming up. I would guess probably against Blue, our other DPS player. They're getting the lobby ready here. Hopefully, we'll be getting in there not too long from now. But, the meta still hasn't changed. We're past mid-season, so there haven't been any legitimate balance patches pushed to the game. And what was it? Probably on Tuesday last week, they pushed the April Fool's patch to the game.
So much fun.
Love having some silly April Fool's fun in there. Except they disabled Winston.
They did what?
Winston is not able to be played in the April Fool's mode unless you get onto the mode that is specifically only Winston.
Okay, hang on. Let me get this straight. So if I queue in to the April Fools, I can't play Winston.
Correct.
But if I queue Winston, I can play Winston?
Yes. So you're going to queue Winston.
Guys, what's even the point of the other game mode?
Well, see, it's Winston only on Horizon Lunar Colony. And the way they have it set up is because they have a support Winston, they have a damage Winston, and they have tank Winston.
How have I not heard about this? I've been playing the April Fool's update. How did I not see this?
I don't even know how. I don't know if it's a separate mode you queue for, or if it is just a random chance when you queue for April Fool's. Because I got backfilled into a game of it when I was queuing for April Fool's.
Oh. Awesome.
But it's like, so you have the support Winston who has less health, but has the healing bubble perk.
Okay.
Damage Winston has the damaging bubble perk. And then Tank Winston just has the normal amount of health.
Interesting.
It's interesting. I had issues with frame rate when playing it. I imagine because there were 10 bubbles going out at the same time, all with different effects going on, but...
Look, Winston, he's too powerful, all right? The game can't contain him.
But... Yeah, no, we're... I mean, have you had any... you said you had some time in the April Fool's mode. Have you picked out a favorite? Any characters that you and are enjoying their silly gimmick that they've been given for the time being?
It's not very strong, but I really like Mizuki's gimmick. Particularly because having 3 hats looks really funny.
It's very funny that it prevents critical hits.
It's awesome. I also like something that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is like his triple TP. It feels really good when you're able to go in, get out, get a health back, go back in, and then get out again. It's awesome.
Now, did they increase the time that his teleport is up or not? Or is it still just that normal amount of... Because I feel like in the base game, it's a very short period of time that you have to use that cooldown to teleport back.
It's 5 seconds every time.
So you teleport back and it resets that
yes.
timer?
Yeah,
okay.
Yep. Every time you press the button, it's 5 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen a lot of people having a lot of fun with Reinhardt, being able to control the speed of your pin. It's almost like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare.
Oh.
He'll just kind of like be sitting there creeping, and then he'll just jump at you.
Honestly, I haven't played against a bunch of Reinhardt in the game mode.
Maybe it was just when I was solo queuing it by myself. I swear it was a Reinhardt every single game.
That's crazy.
Him. I find Iari's gimmick very funny, being able to shoot pylon and it damages everybody in the radius of it. It's kind of disgusting.
Oh, this makes so much sense. I was wondering why I was dying to Iari a lot more often.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was her
that
gimmick.
pylon is gross. I really wish they would, maybe this is just the Lucio player in me talking. I wish they would give Lucio better gimmicks.
Yeah, because this is just basically he can go faster, right?
Well, consecutive jumps make him jump higher, and then he can like Goomba stomp enemies and they'll take damage.
Oh, see, I played like a few minutes of him and I just couldn't figure out what his gimmick was. So I
Yeah,
swapped.
like that's the issue. The April Fool's patch, it's always a lot of fun to me. Just seeing what they can come up with. Like I almost miss when they did like the creator balance patches where you
those are
have
awesome.
some content creators in the community come in and based on the role they play, they would make changes for a bunch of the characters. Some creators would take it a bit more seriously than others, would like, oh, I think we should just like make some number changes. And then you had some other creators who came in and were like, what if we just changed how the character played and made it funny?
Yeah.
They're still sitting there getting that lobby ready. Otzel diligently typing a message there. I really don't expect we did see some different stuff last week compared to the week before that. We saw Eastern playing a lot more double flex. Putting Nyx on that Kiri, Rose on the Juno. After talking to them after the match last week, me and Glavon had initially theorized that like, oh, they knew that the Kiri ban was going to show up and the Lucio ban was going to show up, so they were just kind of getting around that by just starting off on the double flex. But even then, we would usually expect them to go towards that Juno Brig, still going a main and a flex. But after talking to them after the match, it was something that their coach Suji said that they do kind of want to start going towards, kind of fitting more into that double flex meta where both Rose and Nyx are a bit more comfortable on those characters.
Yeah, I mean, double flex support, I think, has always been a pretty viable strategy. At the end of the day, if one of your supports dies, it's no longer a situation of, oh, we don't have enough healing anymore and we die. It's whatever.
Yeah, we just have to play a bit more careful.
As long as we trade, we're fine here. Just kill one of the DPS, yeah, we're good now.
Yeah. Especially when you have like Juno, who does still fall into that flex support category, you still can get that speed. And while it's not as consistent as Lucio's speed, you having a Juno versus the enemy team, it gives you a lot of room to be able to make those rotations a lot quicker.
Oh yeah, you can use it for rotation. You can use it to engage. It's a very versatile tool. I like playing Juno a lot for that.
Yeah, no, it's Juno it's one of those characters where like they were a lot of fun on release, they were strong on release, and Overwatch took that and we're like, we're not allowed to have that. We already have Kiriko. Kiriko has to be the strongest support. Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't know the data about this, but like I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure they would both sell a lot of skins. You can make Juno a little stronger, or you can nerf Kiriko. Either way, I think I'm happy either way.
See, that's the thing. They do still make a lot of skins for Juno. I've seen a lot of people complain that Juno does not have the helmet in a lot of her skins.
Yeah, no, that is true. Oh, hang on. It looks like we're getting some updates here. Finally moving along. Looks like we're going to Ilios.
That's different. We very typically see us start out on Lijiang Tower.
Oh, it looks like Western picked Ilios.
Interesting. I imagine. I don't know if NACE still does it this way. I know at least when I was still on the team, it was decided on coin flip. So I don't know if, I don't know if it's a Western is just more comfortable on Ilios, if they know that we just always go to Lijiang and so they want to try and throw us off. But in addition to us going to Ilios, we've got our bans in for the map. We have banned Sojourn, and they banned Zarya. That not even shocking in the slightest. If they did any amount of scouting on the team, they know we lean pretty heavily into that Zarya comp. But I mean, this just gets it out of the way early. We will have access to that for the rest of the... we'll have access to it for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not that big a deal. There are plenty of brawl tanks in the pool.
Yeah.
Just pick a different one. We're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, depending on what map we start on, I wouldn't be shocked if we see a Ramatra. It's possible we could see a Diva, depending on what we end up deciding that we do want to play. If we want to go more of a dive style, if we want to stick to that Ram, stick on that Brawl. That is true, Glavon. We can give a quick shout out to Nyx, who grinded for I swear it felt like 24 straight hours. Managed to go from high plat to high masters.
Insane.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it done before.
I mean, look, I'm not taking anything away from their accomplishment. They did swap to the broken character. They swapped to Kiriko.
Okay, look. Here's the deal, right? You can play the broken character, but if you're not also good at the broken character, you're not going to climb. Unless
yes
you get unlucky, which, that can happen.
Oh, hello, Otzel.
But, because, sometimes you queue into that comp, and man, those teammates.
Yeah, sometimes you get just the worst people on support. It can never be your fault in competitive when you have a random.
No, of course.
But yeah, no, it looks like we are going into our first map here on Ilios. Gonna be starting out on Lighthouse here. I know JV in the past has favored some more bunker comps on this, going, it's usually what, Lucio, Kiri, Rhine, Sim, and Reaper. I don't expect us to go that way. Maybe doing something like that, but just with the Ramatra instead. We'll see if we do still decide to stick on that double flex. All right, it does look like we are on that double flex. Blue's over on that cast. That's a very common comfort pick for him. In terms of Rage on Symmetra, I don't know if this is more of a, hey, where you're TPing out of spawn, and then he's going to swap over to Vendetta, which he's been playing a lot of. Otzel on the Hazard on the Winston. It's going to be back on Diva.
You can't tease us like that.
Right, it does look like we are rolling out on the Symmetra here. Western, we were on a very similar comp. They did swap off the Symmetra, going towards that Reaper instead. Having an engage here, Eastern did take Cage first off, setting up kind of a bunker in there with the Symmetra turrets. You got Western on the high ground, just looking to get any angle they can onto Eastern.
They're not doing a very good job of it. So far, we're locking down this cage pretty well.
Eastern using that TP to take over that high ground as Western just flips to take the point. Blue throwing in some shots there, not finding anything. Forcing TP out of Kiriko is Otzel. Dropping back, punishing that Kiriko, gets Suzu. Oh, and Otzel is going to get booped off the map. Did not have those boosters to stay up.
You hate to see it. Looks
Blue
like we're just going to go for a hard
but he's just looking to get a disengage here. That's just an unfortunate circumstance. Nick's getting picked late there by the Emray. It's just gonna force a reset on the side of Eastern here.
Yeah, it does look like Eastern is sticking with the Juno Kiri heals here that we were talking about before the match. I'm looking to see some good stuff from this backline. It seemed to work pretty well last time, so hoping to see it happen again.
You got Rage just trying to build up this beam, looking to just trying to melt through anybody he can get his hands on. Western disengaging back towards that point. Diva falling half health here. Gets
Big
Suzu out.
Suzu.
Western does get Suzu out of Eastern to keep Rage up, but Rage able to disengage there. That's 2 picks falling very quickly as Western Michigan loses both of their DPS players. Diva gets demexed here by Otzel, and it's gonna be a fight win for Eastern here as their Lucio does get blue. But that's, you know, 1 stagger kill. Lucio throws himself off the map, resets with team. As we're going into this next fight here, you know, you're looking at the ult economy. Pretty similar overall. You have Western having both their support ults up here. Eastern lagging a little bit behind in those, but we do have both DPS ults to make up for that.
Yeah, the Reaper ult's pretty far behind here, so we're not going to be seeing that this fight, thankfully.
You know, that Reaper guy is very powerful, especially when coming in from the side. As, excuse me, as Western engages onto the high ground of point, Blue finds 2 at High Noon. Somehow, you know, High Noon, not known as one of the better ults in the game, Blue somehow manages to find value with it most of the time.
Even against a Diva who should theoretically make that ult completely useless.
Yeah. Otzel is just applying pressure, trying to push back Western as best as he can, maybe see if he can find a late pick. Not able to find anything as Eastern just kind of holds down the point here. You can see Western swinging out towards main. That's a beat engage from Western, just looking to go on whoever they can. As the Kiri does find Rage. And that's going to be 4 falling very quickly for Eastern as Otzel is just looking to stall for what he can. You know, Otzel, at this point, you know, stalling for what you can on point, you know, really don't hate this. You know, they eventually do take him down, but getting an extra like 20% out of that point with his life is worthwhile.
Very worthwhile, and it's looking like the ult economy is looking really poor for both teams here. Nobody's really got anything up, but it seems like Eastern's posturing for pretty good position here, but Western's holding down that angle pretty good, but oh, looks like we're gonna get in a dive here.
You know, Otzel looking to push forward there. Blue just putting in some pot shots, hoping to get a pick somewhere, open up this fight. As Eastern is looking on this high ground, they've got to touch the point here soon, looking to get a TP on the point as Blue finds the Kiri for an early pick here. Emre looking, finds Rose, able to take him down. They're still even here. As Blue finds another, Rage takes down the Reaper. You have the Emre ult coming out of here on the side of Western, able to find Blue. Looking to take Otzel out of mech, does manage to do that as Western's Diva does get demeched as well. Otzel did have self-destruct to get the remech early. And that will be a fight win for Eastern.
Not even close.
You know, it was a bit of a messy fight. You know, you hope that getting that pick, you know, it is a much easier fight when you do find that pick early onto the Kiriko. As Western is coming up on their support ults again. Only thing that Eastern really has here is wall. They need to hope that either they can pick that Kiri earlier or that the rush is used improperly.
Or we can lock down this Emre and make him unable to do anything. I'm liking this play.
Otzel able to find a pick onto that Reaper. That is a big pick for this fight. As up goes wall, and there's beat from the side of Western and rush as well. That's 1 falling off the map. That's Blue down by the Lucio. As Emre is hunting down Rose, manages to find her. Otzel is back onto the point, able to find the Kiriko. That Emre is just trying to farm whatever he can. Rage able to demech that Diva.
Full beam, staying alive here.
That baby Diva falls. Lucio trying to find what he can, stalling everything he can, unable to find anything. That Reaper is back, but it can do nothing against that beam from Rage. As Baby Diva gets the final kill of that match. First round going onto the side of Eastern.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at that Reaper and Wraith. He really looked like he had ult, but I looked up. That guy did not have ult.
You know, he's only so powerful when coming in from the side. He does not have his special move.
Yeah, honestly, from looking at that game, looks like their Emre is pretty good. He was getting into some good positions. But, you know, all the fights we won is because Otzel was shutting that Emre down.
Yeah,
and that worked pretty well.
Yeah, no, it's as if we're shutting down this Emre, that is going to be that's a win condition here for us. That, you know, between our Diva and our Symmetra able to teleport, you know, you can get that speed ring from the Juno. It allows for some very quick rotations, get on that Emre and melt him down quickly. a lot of the fights that Eastern were winning were from when we would get that pick early. As we're engaging here onto Cage, Western kind of getting strong-armed out by Eastern. Rage setting up some turrets in there, just hoping to gain control of Cage, force Western into a poor position. As Reaper falls low, able to Wraith out. Otzel gets Suzu to stay up in the fight, as the Lucio on the side of Western falls down, as well as Kiri and Emre very quickly. Down goes D.Va, and that is a fight win for Eastern, as point control goes towards them.
And you can see here, Blue's already almost got their ult. They're in a pretty good position here. The enemy team's ult economy is not looking very good, whereas we're about to come up on 2 ults right now, basically.
And you can see Western swapping off of that Reaper, going towards that Mei. An interesting choice here. I'm not sure that I agree with it. Mei, yes, she is very tanky, but she's also very stationary. So if you can force out those cooldowns from her, she is a sitting duck.
And especially into EMU's comp here, I mean, they're running D.Va, so you wall the D.Va, goes over the wall.
Yeah.
What's it doing?
Like, the best you're hoping, maybe
Big Noon?
catching Blue out. Blue able to find another pick with High Noon. As he's trying to just hit these shots, you know, trying to line them up, not falling for some of them. But Eastern securing another fight win, trying to get that Lucio late, but he does manage to get out. A clean fight win there from Eastern. You know, they were disengaging while Western used some of their some of their abilities, and only used High Noon to win that fight.
It is crazy that we are using High Noon to win fights here. That is insane.
You know, that's not something you expect to hear in Overwatch 2. Or, sorry, Overwatch.
Oh yeah, Overwatch. The second one.
Yeah, no, we have 4 ults here, as you know, Western is engaging here, taking the high ground on the side of that, on the side of the windmill. You know, trying to gain control of that point as Eastern is holding this Cage. Rage putting up a teleporter, helping his team move around. That Mei trying to engage, but getting taken down early.
The beat comes out, but it's too late for that Mei, and
Next
Emery
does
goes
fall
down.
to the enemy Kiriko, but Rage and Otzel trade 2 out in return. They force TP out of Kiriko, and Emery, excuse me. As Emery goes down, that was a lot invested on the side of Western for them to not. Yes, they did take control of that point for a little bit, but they used beat, rush, and a bomb, and they did not win the fight. You know, they're going in with the Emery ult here, looking to see maybe they can get an early pick, but Otzel is able to focus him down as Nyx uses the rush, and we use Wall to just hold control of this point. You know, we are still, as Blue uses another High Noon, can he find something with it? Not able to find anything. D.Va able to able to DM that, but Nyx finds 2. Otzel finds another. Rage picks up a final kill there. And the Emery just not going to be able to touch, and that will be map 1 going to the side of Eastern Michigan.
You know what? I gotta give the enemy D.Va props. She DM'd 1 High Noon.
Hey, 1 is better than 0. A much cleaner second round there.
Oh, yeah.
I think you could tell round 1 there was, you know, you can see here as Blue gets that kill with High Noon. You know, just barely missing the kill onto that Kiriko himself, but you know, a significantly cleaner round 2 there. Round 1, just a warm up. You know, had to get shake off some of the rust, get some of the jitters out. You know, hey, you know, 100 to 99, you still won it. Second point, it was like 100 to 18%. Like,
yeah, you know, first round, just had to remember, hey, this is a real team. We got to give this one our all right?
But yeah, no, just I think what really let Eastern win that second round so much easier is not over investing their ults. They let Western use 2 support ults and their tank ult to lose a fight. In return, they used 1 ult for it.
Hey, look, when you're able to use High Noon by itself to win fights, your ult economy is going to be better.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I mean, their ult rotations were much better. Those walls just cutting off point very well from Rage. High Noon finding value in the big 2026. Our rushes and our orbital rays are finding good sustain. allowing us to engage, take control of the enemy team's walk up. There's not much you can do there if you're Western, if you're not finding value when you use 2 support ults in a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like a lot of these fights are being won by support ults, except for the high noon. So I'd like to see some more of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was about what we kind of expected to see out of Eastern. You know, I said before the map, I was expecting to see them either go towards D.Va or go towards Ramatra. And I feel like Ramatra is kind of going to be phased out because he does rely a lot more heavily on having that Lucio speed constantly. You know, he does not have anywhere near as much mobility as D.Va does with those boosters. And yes, Juno Ring can get you around, but even having that passive speed off of Lucio enables Ram to be a competent character.
Well, I mean, realistically, on it's Lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
You kind of want access to that high ground on tank.
Yes.
So I wouldn't have been surprised if after Lighthouse they swapped to Ramatra, but honestly, if it works, don't change it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that Ramatra is still a possible pick on Lighthouse if you are running that Symmetra with those teleporters. But playing D.Va instead allows Rage to make a more selfish use of teleporter.
Oh, yeah.
Able to take a quick off angle, get some damages, teleport back out, get healed up by his team, teleport back in, maybe finish off a kill if they haven't gotten healed, maybe just keep building up that wall, getting out, letting his supports charge ult off of him. But yeah, no, just a very clean map 1. You know, map 2, we are going to Flashpoint. We are going to Atlas. This is the weirdest thing about this map pool to me, is that I believe it is Servasa is not an option for Flashpoint. It is either Atlas or it's New Junk City. And I feel like every team we've gone against that has chosen Flashpoint has chosen Atlas. I don't know why. I don't like Atlas.
Atlas is like the bad one.
See, that's I feel like a lot of pro players do really like it. Like, I see it get picked a lot in, like, you know, OWCS level. But
yeah, what do they know?
yeah, you know, they're only paid thousands of dollars. But yeah, no, it's, you know, I mean, me and Glaven has kind of talked about this at length. The issue with Atlas is that and, you know, maybe some people like this. The first point plays completely different to the rest of the map. It is more open, more high ground focused. You know, with the tube that runs around the top that you know can kind of dive into point. And you know, people will, you know, say, oh, that's similar to, you know, first point on New Junk City. You know, you've got the high ground up around the point, and then the point's kind of sunken down lower. The difference between that and New Junk City is that New Junk City, it is a lot quicker to get back up to that high ground. It is not as high of high ground.
It's also a little bit easier to shoot down into on Atlas than it is on New Junk City.
It is easier to shoot down into without being punished. You know, as we are sitting here getting ready to go into second map, Western does ban our Symmetra, and we in turn are banning Lucio. So this symbolizes, realistically here, I wouldn't be shocked if we, if we are back on Zarya, back on Vendetta, probably sticking on that Cass, on that Juno and Kiriko. Yeah, just running it down on kind of our comfort comp. It, you know, like we said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. We're going to probably be looking at Rage and Otzel, syncing up, getting those bubble cycles going. Blue probably on an off angle, you know, looking to see if he can get a pick. And then Juno Curie is an incredibly stable backline. It is hard to catch either of them. It's a bit easier to catch the Juno out just because, you know, yes, you have double jump, you have one movement cooldown to get out, but if you play it right, you're gonna stay alive pretty easily, unless they are specifically hard targeting you and investing every resource to get you specifically.
Which, hey, if they're doing that, that just means they're leaving their back line open.
That means that Rage is going to get to have a lot of fun. You know, if you remember the Havana map where Rage got to play Vendetta and just kind of, they spawn held. All right. We are going into our second map here. Like we said, it is Atlas. I am interested to see what Western Michigan does choose to go here. You know, they did start off on Diva stuff. I don't know if they're going to stick on Diva. I don't know if they are going to switch to that Zarya.
Well, I'm going to be honest.
I'm seeing Orisa.
That's interesting.
The horse is here.
Well, the horse is here.
Otzel is on Winston. I don't imagine that this is going to stick, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But yeah, the Lucio...
Oh, we got the Rage Torbjorn out here.
Oh, yeah.
We are cooking something up on the side of Eastern Michigan. Roll out of your cowards. Oh. It does look like Western is actually rolling out onto this Orisa. I am very interested as to why they're choosing this, because I'm sure that they scouted and know that we play a lot of Zarya.
I don't know. Maybe it's something that's a backup comp, because banning Lucio on Flashpoint does suck.
I mean, if we're not going to be playing Lucio, like, it is definitely something that is kind of being phased out of our team, it seems. But also just able to burn down that Orisa, falling incredibly low. Otzel full charge here. It's kind of hard to stop him. Just chucking in those right clicks, seeing what he can get. That Orisa falling very low, just using every cooldown, falling very quickly. Blue getting that finishing blow. As they're still just kind of posturing for position after they cap the point. Western Michigan just kind of has to disengage here. I mean, unfortunately, I think the answer here for Western is that you kind of have to mirror the Zarya. Even if it's not something you're super comfortable on, at the very least, Orisa is not the choice here.
No, Orisa into Zarya is not a fun matchup.
No, as Orisa uses gold there, and Otzel has grab ready to go. Gets pushed back by that spear, just looking to see what they can get. Rage able to find that brig early. Otzel still just burning down the enemy tank. Down goes Orisa.
And we win yet another dry fight. No ults needed.
You know, I mean, if you don't need them, why use them? You know, you can see that Eastern's ult economy is coming online here. We've got that grab up already. Both of our support ults are coming up here soon. We've got High Noon coming up again as Otzel does fall, unfortunately. That is going to be tough. They have to go quickly here if they want a chance to win this fight. As Rage is going to trade one out.
They are even here. They still got a chance to do something.
You know, let them get the flip. You know, at that point, getting any of those picks is kind of just bonus. You know, we can get back here a lot quicker. We've got Vendetta coming back. We've got Otzel back. We are going to have 5 ults in this fight. Western at most is going to have 3. And one of those is a Orisa ult. Another one of those ults that you're really just not expecting to find a lot of value out of.
I think I'd like to see an early grab here if we can get enough charge to make it worth it.
I think what you're really looking for is to get that spin out so that Otzel has no risk of throwing his grab into that. As the Orisa uses ult, doesn't find anything with it as Otzel takes him down. Otzel looking to hunt down that brig as well, using the rally to keep himself up. As Otzel falls incredibly low here, is going to get taken out by that Reaper as Eastern does flip the point back towards their favor. Rage just trying to stay up with everything he can. Nyx on that brig does stun the Reaper out of his ult. And that is going to be point 1 going on the side of Eastern Michigan.
Poor Reaper guy didn't come in from the side.
And if he came in from the side, that's an easy 5K right there. He would have revived Otzel himself just to kill him again.
Of course.
But yeah, no, we're just posturing towards the second point here. We're still sitting on... We have... Blue used his ult in that last fight, is already back up to 62%. Absolutely just farming damage. And on the side of Western, they're getting a bit close to that railgun coming back online, but they've got nothing else to go against anything that Eastern has. As Rage uses this Vendetta ult here, is going to get speared out of it. As Western does swap back towards this Mei again. You know, I would have to assume that this is some kind of a comfort pick, as Otzel is just looking to beam down the enemies as well as he can.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. This Orisa is almost definitely a comfort pick because this Orisa spears have been absolutely devastating. And you know the funny part? It don't matter.
It do not matter. You know, it's, you know, yeah, you know, you can cancel 1 or 2 ults, but when we only need 1 ult to win a fight, as we get another engage going from Rage here with that bubble, the Sojourn does use Overclock here, looking to find anything that they can, just not able to get an angle there, as they do have a rail charged up, looking to maybe find a pick there. Shoots, does not find anything, as Rage goes in with a bubble, looking to find anything, gets focused down very quickly. Otzel still holding onto this grab. I don't believe we've used it yet, but this Orisa falling incredibly low. I'd like to see a grab here, maybe. Maybe not now that we were down 2. Otzel is able to find that Orisa, looking to find anything he can, just stalling on point until he dies, as Western does win that fight. But it's, you know, it's 87% to Eastern side. We need to win 1 fight. We do still have that grab, as Blue does move from the Cass over towards that M-Ray. I know the M-Ray is not as comfortable as Cass is for Blue, but I mean, it's a hit scan character. They all play kind of the same.
Hey, this guy, instead of firing once, he fires 3 times.
Hey, 3 times, and he has a grenade instead of a flashbang. There's the
massive
orbit.
grab.
That's a big grab, just kind of nullifying that orbit, as Western does use 2 support ults again. They're not going to find anything. Nick's kind of getting caught out on point alone there as Rage goes in, taking that break very low. Otzel is able to find that, but does get traded. Rage does get traded out in return. And Rose just trying everything she can to try and keep Otzel up, poking in damage wherever she can, keeping Otzel up, getting him back up healthy, looking to keep this fight going, as that Sojourn is just poking at Otzel, trying to take him down. Nyx comes in with that, with the rally, as Orisa uses Terra Surge. It's, that was a very sloppy fight there. I could see the vision they were going for of, hey, if we can just invest what we can win this fight, take the 2nd point. But they were never able to just regroup as a team there, and that has led to Western Michigan taking that point.
It's okay. We shake it off. We win the next one. It doesn't matter as long as they don't win the next 2.
Exactly. Nyx did swap from that Brig over towards the Kiriko here, just seeing that the Kiriko might just get a bit more value here compared to the Brig. As Sojourn uses that Overclock and May uses Blizzard on the point. Overclock does find Nyx, sitting there looking, seeing if they can find anything else. Takes a pot shot at Rage as he slides out, unable to get anything. I mean, that was 2 ults used on the side of Western there. We've got 4 ults coming up on the side of Eastern. I'm looking towards Blue with this Override Protocol here. It does a lot of damage. You focus onto that backline as Eastern does get the flip here. Otzel looking to just melt down the Orisa, and Orisa falls alone on point. Otzel jumping up to high ground, looking to take out that Sojourn, able to find that right click onto him, takes down the Juno as well, and Otzel and Rage are just running down the backline here. Rage trying to find something here, going in a little deep, trying to find that Brig, not able to get anything. Jumps out at, I would argue, a smart time.
Yep. And guess what? We're still up in the ult economy, baby.
And I mean, what, we used our orbital ray there? 1 ult to win that fight. I like that. There's still, as up comes our grab, gets, I think that was 4 of them. Not able to secure any kills there.
Well, this could be big.
Blue comes in with the Override Protocol, looking for that Brig, taking some pot shots, able to take him low. Can he get him down? Looking to take out this May here as well. May falls low. Blue able to find the kill. Looking to take down Sojourn as well. Blue taking care of 3 on his own. Takes down a 4th. Can he get 5? Juno throws himself off the map. I credit that to Blue. Call that a 5K.
5K
I mean,
by
come
Blue.
on.
Woo.
What a play there from Blue. You know, obviously, you know, you get some support from your team there, but Blue was also just hitting his shots there. You know, a bit of an uncomfortable position there, just being in the back line with 3 enemies coming at you, but taking out that brick early was very helpful.
But hey, it's okay. Swapping to your secondary is faster than reloading.
Exactly. As Rage comes in with this ult, looking to find something, Brig able to get out of that, but falling very low. Rage kind of getting into the back line of Western, able to take out that Sojourn. Looking to go back on that Brig, taking him incredibly low again. Switching focus over towards Juno. Takes 1 slash, down goes Juno. Over towards that Mei, just taking the damage while Blue gets the kill. And that, another fight win for Eastern.
Credit to our supports there.
Yeah. Rage
almost died at least 10 times that fight.
Look, when you run in double flex, you can pump a lot of healing into one person. But yeah, no, I mean, you get the Terra Surge out of Western there. They are coming up on 3 ults. They've got both DPS ults as well as Rally. But on the side of Eastern, we've got pretty much everything but Vendetta coming up, as Rage does get picked early here. Otzel is just about half charged, looking to maybe find anything he can. As in comes Rush from Nyx, looking to hold some position here as as Otzel gets frozen. This is probably just going to be a point. Yeah, this is going to be a point flip over to the side of Western. But if you look at this, they used both DPS ults again. Yes, we did use Rush, but again, that's a 2-for-1 trade. I don't hate it, as Rage swaps off that Vendetta, looking over towards Reaper. The Reaper guy is one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah.
Teleports in with that bubble cycle, going back to some classic last semester comps. Rage just posturing here, also looking to get whatever charge he can, taking a spear, looking to go in, probably looking to use that, looking to use grab, but Blue with this override protocol, able to find the Juno. Rage takes out that Mei. And, you know, it's Western Michigan incredibly low here. They find the Brig, they find the Orisa. That Sojourn is just stalling for whatever she can on the point, but again, I mean, that was 1 ult used from Eastern in a fight 1. In return, I think they used, I don't know if they used Overclock this fight or last.
They used it last fight.
Yeah, they did, sorry, excuse me, they did use it last fight, but I mean, they've got Juno ult up, they've got Orisa ult coming online, but a good grab will, and that's a good grab
indeed.
You know, that grab Ray combo, I mean, it's just devastating. The amount of damage that can get pumped out into that grab is devastating for the side of Western. And that is going to be another map win going on the side of Eastern.
You want to know what was spectacular about that game?
That we saw the Reaper guy.
Okay, there were 2 things. No. There wasn't a single...
This was spectacular.
Okay, well...
I mean,
let's watch the clip
give
first.
credit
Let's watch
to
the
Blue
clip
here.
first. Because this was insane.
Able to find that Brig, pops himself out of the ult early, takes out that, I mean, just... the character's just disgusting.
Insane.
The amount of lifesteal that he can generate is gross. But you were saying.
But no, for those who were paying attention, you'll realize that there was not a single moment during that entire game where EMU was behind on ult economy.
Yeah, no, their ult economy in that map was a lot. The only point I would say that it was questionable was second point. And that point was just kind of questionable overall once Western got the flip there. Eastern just could never completely put together how they wanted to push back into that point. Just got staggered. Were running in staggered, could never just regroup as 5 to get one solid retake going, and just getting caught out at some weird positions there. But you know, it's clearly a fluke compared to the rest of the map.
Yeah,
like the rest of the map, it was not close.
Like I said, you shake that off, you go win the next 2 points. It's
exactly
that easy.
You know, I mean, what can you really say? It's Eastern Michigan up 2-0 in the match. Yeah, no, I mean, you got to give credit to the entire team here. You know, obviously we saw Blue hitting his shots, Rage getting into the back line, just forcing resources out of Western just to deal with him, while he, in return, is getting a lot of resources from his team. He's getting bubbles, He's getting, papers from NACE. He's getting, bullets from Rose. And, he's getting all those resources pulled out and then gets out for free.
Oh, yeah.
Worst case scenario, he gets out for free with his life. Best case scenario, he's taking out your backline while doing the same thing.
Hey, you always take the 2-for-1 deal.
Exactly. 2 for the price of 1. It's 2-0. What map do you think they're gonna take us to next?
All right, remind me. What are our options?
I mean, we can go to any of push, hybrid, or escort.
Oh, we got game modes to choose from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Now, if I remember correctly, there's no King's Row.
There is not King's Row. It is very weird for a tournament to not have King's Row. I can understand why they don't include King's Row as an option, just because it's kind of a default pick when you go to hybrid. I've been hearing a lot more recently that a lot of Overwatch players are not fans of hybrid.
Really interesting.
Yeah, like a lot of people prefer control, and there's fragments of the player base everywhere, but I feel like a lot of pro players prefer more of like the symmetrical game mode. So your pushes, your flash points, your control versus escort and hybrid.
No, I can definitely see it. It just feels weird to hate on King's Row.
Yeah, I think it is easily the best hybrid map, like bar none.
There's no contest.
Yeah, no,
Eichenwald would be awesome if Second Point didn't exist.
Yeah, the issue with Second Point Eichenwald is just the high ground. There is no way to easily push out onto Second Point if you don't get control of that high ground.
Yeah, if the enemy team hit scan is any good, GG.
Yeah, GG go next. My Widow needs to be better.
Exactly. Yeah, be better from a worse position. Easy.
Yeah, it's simple. But yeah, no, it's just very well played from Eastern on that map. I very rarely saw our supports dying. They're positioning well. They're in the kill feed. We did see Nyx roll out on the Brig, which I know they do very much enjoy playing Brig. But they realized at a point that, like, hey, I think Kiriko does get more value here. Even if the enemy team was still running Brig. I think swapping over to that Kiriko did give us an additional upper hand, allowing us to just roll through the rest of the map.
Oh, hey, that's the difference. Is our team realized that we needed to make swaps, and we did so. Enemy team did not swap their supports at all.
No. Just
saying.
They made some creative swaps in there. We had them go from Reaper to Mei.
Look, maybe we're just not seeing the vision.
I must be blind.
You want these?
I think that'd make me more blind. And I think of the Flashpoint maps, Atlas is where you could get the most value with Mei, just because of how claustrophobic the map is overall. There are a couple of spots where you could get a good wall. The issue is our team, a lot of the time, we were not the ones that had to engage into them. So we were not pushing in somewhere that Mei could wall off and then we just focus them down. Or we get focused down. It was they had to push in a lot. And anybody that the Mei could wall off kind of just had an escape option.
Yeah, realistically, the only thing that could really wall off there is a Vendetta, who has about 14 different ways of escaping that situation.
You could try to wall off Vendetta, but she has 8 different ways to escape. Zarya has bubbles.
And realistically, in that comp, Zarya is not even playing far enough up for the wall to matter.
No, because we're playing it, we have Rage go in, get charge for Otzel. Otzel gets to full charge, waits for bubbles to come back up, and then they push in as a team and just melt through the enemies. as we are getting ready, we have gotten some info for our third map here. Going to Shambali Monastery.
Okay. Okay.
Not one that I feel like we've seen Eastern play. If we have, I don't remember it.
Hey, maybe this is when we see the Windowmaker.
At best, I think we maybe see a couple of shots from Blue out of spawn on attack. I doubt it gets rolled out on defense.
Probably not, but
as Western, as kind of expected, bans Vendetta. I mean, the character's just disgusting right now. I am hoping and praying that the season ends in 2 weeks,
something like that.
Because I think drives are this weekend.
Oh boy,
I don't even. What do the drives look like this season?
I have no idea.
I feel like
I haven't seen it.
I feel like I saw a leak of it, but it wasn't memorable enough for me to care. I also just don't really go for drives. It kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, the thing is, right, is that it would be fun to go for if it wasn't for the fact that that's when all of the people who don't play comp all season suddenly start playing comp.
Yeah, you get all the creatures.
So it is really funny because I've been playing a tiny bit of comp on the side, and I've been like, wow, this is a lot more enjoyable than I remember. The only times I play comp are drives.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really hope that when the new season rolls around, I mean, I think it's this weekend we do get, this is something we could have talked about in the pre-show, we get the reveal of the character that is releasing next season. We have seen what the render looks like. I feel like I've seen people saying that they are affiliated with Helix Security, which is who Pharah is affiliated with.
Interesting.
So I am very interested to see what they do there. Anyways, going back to the game, we are going into game here. As a reminder, they banned Vendetta. Not surprising. Rage kind of runs the lobby on Vendetta, and it kind of sucks if you don't have one of your own. In return, we banned D.Va. I am not shocked. You know, it forces them into a different style. I feel like D.Va, she isn't the greatest on this map. You know, having access to those high grounds is nice. But, you know, Shambali, you're usually expecting a lot more of a poke-heavy comp, which you can see from Western. They're on that cast. They're on Sig. They're on Kiri Lu, which I feel like is kind of weird with a poke comp. I feel like you would usually expect to see like a Juno Brig here. And they're still on that Mei.
But more importantly, we're on Junkrat and Winston.
Junkrat.
Obviously, we're rolling out with this. Come on,
they're
guys.
Not going to change anything. Never mind. We're back on same old, same old. We don't even get a couple of Widow shots out of spawn from Blue. But as we start posturing for position on this point here, you know, I think what we got to be looking to do here is dislodging them from that high ground. As that was a nice bubble from Otzel, but it gets popped immediately, and Rage just gets ping-ponged around until he dies. Otzel does get the charge out of that at least, is able to stay alive with it. And at least it was a quick death and not suffering.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough team to just teleport onto with that Cass and that Mei. You're just going to teleport on and you're just going to die, blow up immediately. So you got to be a little bit more tactical about that.
You know, Eastern is just taking this high ground. Rage able to find a pick onto that Mei by himself.
On the side.
On the side, he did come in from the side of the enemy team. As Otzel just, you know, farming up what energy he can and just kind of walking him down. Rage gets a bubble from Otzel, able to take out that cast. Forces the hands from Sig as Otzel just melts through it. Blue finds the Kiri. Rage finishes off the Lucio. That's a quick fight win from Eastern there, as they could maybe get first point off of that.
Yeah, and that's the type of TP play I'm looking to see here. While they're all distracted, while they're all trying to fight the frontline Zarya here, now we can TP into them, and they're not all just going to turn around and kill you immediately. And if they do, you're probably going to get a pick out of it still.
Well, see, you almost do want them to be ready to turn and shoot you, because the whole idea of teleporting in with that bubble is to get the energy for Otzel so that you can push in together as a team. as Lucio is going to find Rose out, unfortunately. We are just going to look for a bit of a disengage here, as that's a nice bubble onto NACE to keep them alive. That is going to be an ult invested on the side of Western. I don't think that was necessary.
Absolutely not.
Or a play.
You know what? They're just like, you know, you guys have been winning. We gotta get that aura number up, I guess. The what was it? The aura percent aura, whatever it's called in Mizuki.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, you can see. I mean, there's another bubble coming in, just popping immediately, giving Otzel a nice base amount of charge to use here as another bubble is charging up. He uses another bubble. It pops again immediately. Otzel is just living at nearly full charge here. Chucks out that grab into the rush. And I mean, that's going to be a beat coming out on the side of Western. They're able to get the Reaper in return, and they're going to find something with High Noon. The Mei finding Nyx. Blue able to get to win the cast 1v1. I think that's a fight. It's a fight win for Western, but mental win for Eastern. We won the 1v1.
It's actually more of a fight win for Eastern as well, because we did not invest very many ults there. Well, they invested all of them.
Yeah, no, that was a very heavily invested fight in there for Western, as Eastern is coming up on the flank here. You know, we did use that grab, we did use that rush, but we are coming up on Blossom, we are coming up on that Ray, as well as High Noon, which, as we've been saying, Blue is able to find that value. Rage getting very lucky that they missed that follow-up on him, as Blue is just trying to find whatever he can with this High Noon, not able to get anything, is going to fall to that Sigma, unfortunately, as Otzel is going to get taken down by Mei, and Mei's going to get 2 here. You know, we are seeing the vision with this Mei, I guess. Just finding some value there. I don't know if they're just hitting the right clicks this map or what. Yeah, I mean, it is not easy to push into this point when they have a Sigma. He is very easily able to control this high ground, and if he can continue to time his rocks well, Rage is going to struggle to get any value in on these TP cycles.
Yeah, this is probably one of Sigma's best maps, if not its best map. There's just so much potential for poke here. We're going around the back here. This is a play I have not seen for quite some time, but it is going to allow us to safely get up there. That
is going to be walled off, and that will lead to Blue's death. As they're just running him down, there's going to be the Gravitic Flux used again, and that's another fight win for Western. You know, that's one ult invested. You know, it's
now. You know, I'll say this: you were bullying the Kiryu here, but it's looking pretty good because no matter what angle Eastern comes in at, they're able to get to that angle really quickly.
As Nyx finds one shot onto that Emre here, just trying to poke him down a little bit. Eastern needs to be pushing this card a little bit more. It is rolled back all the way towards where it started for second point. As Rage teleports up, looking to get a little bit of energy for Otzel. Still looking for an opportunity to go in with this rush, or with the Blossom, excuse me. As Western does use the rush as well as the Blizzard. Able to take down Blue, down goes Otzel and Rage. Rose trying to keep anyone up that she can. Stays alive until, you know, the entire enemy team is focusing her down, but you know, this has been looking very good for Western here on this second point.
Now, I will say we are coming up on 4-ish ults here, so there's a chance we can get some work done with those. Getting some charge here.
I mean, I think
it's a big ult, maybe?
I think at this ult point you're probably looking for like a grab Blossom combo. But even then, like, ooh, Rage falling very low very quickly, is getting walled off, just going for the Blossom, gets a bubble out of it. Grab pulls in the Mei, but she has blocked to stay alive through it. And there's just not a lot of value being found out of these ults. The rush does come in, as that Flux is going to find 2. Rage, the tank left for this Eastern team, the only one left alive here in overtime, looking to find whatever he can. Not able to get anything, and that is going to be a hold from the side of Western Michigan.
Yeah, that second point is really rough with that Sigma there. They have a lot of ways that they can poke and keep you out of there, and when you're on a brawl comp trying to push into that, it's really tough.
You know, we don't have any quick way to access high grounds. Like, yes, Rage has that TP, but that TP, he's going in immediately having that bubble pop and needing to get out, or else he will just pop instantly. And walking up through that staircase, I mean, that's a great angle for that Sigma, great angle for the Emray. May was hitting some nice walls, sectioning off the team very well. And I mean, yeah, I was dogging on that Kiri Lu on this map, but they were just getting positioned very well. Being able to move that Sigma wherever.
The good news is that the map's not over.
That's true. You know, we could see a full hold here from Eastern. It's happened before. Looking to see what Rage is going to choose to roll out on here. I expect it to continue being that Reaper. And it's looking like it'll be the same thing on the side of Western here, sticking with that Sig, that Emray May, as well as that Kiri Lu. You know, it's same comps as last round. I don't expect Western's comp to be as strong here, just because they are not going to be the ones in the established foothold. They have to try to push into it, which the May is going to struggle with a little bit more. As Western is just looking to speed and take this high ground aggressively, Otzel immediately up to 90 charge, falling low. It has to back up to stay alive. As they're able to focus him down, Rage does trade out that Emray in return, as that Sigma falls incredibly low, but Blue gets caught out. Rose and Nyx just have to back out of here. Rage in an incredibly greedy position. Is able to TP out. Nyx able to take them back to full health. As they're just going to have to look to have a later hold here. You can see Eastern looking to take this foothold. Rage gets a bubble from Otzel, looking to get whatever charge he can. As they have that Emray just sitting on point back there. Otzel going to fall incredibly low again, able to stay alive thanks to his supports. Looking at that Sigma, just beaming him down. Rage able to get the finishing blow there. As Weston is probably just going to have to back up here. Rage teleporting in a little bit, looking to see if he can find anything, but that Lucio able to speed the rest of the team out. Just regrouping with that Sigma and going to be able to go for another push here.
Now, I think I do actually like this position defensively a lot more for EMU than the first one. There's not really a good high ground for that Sigma to set up on here. So they're going to be able to take more of those close fights that they like.
That is true. I also like holding up closer here, because if you do lose the fight, it does give you the potential to have another fight back closer towards the window. As Otzel is playing with this grab here, sees hands come out, knows that he could just use it for free here. As the rush comes out of the side of Western, able to chuck that grab in there. Otzel able to find that Lucio. The Maywall going to cut off any sight lines as both the supports for Western have fallen. Emray does manage to find Blue, but the rest of Eastern able to stay up and just push back the enemy. Rage gets a late pick onto the Sigma there. Goes for the TP in place, trying to fool the enemy team into keeping himself alive, but not able to do so.
Now, unfortunately, they did cap.
Oh, I did not see that they... Oh, that is bad. It is going to have to be a very impressive hold here from Eastern. You can see them holding up very closely. Otzel going to have to use that bubble, going to get rocked. As Nyx falls, Sigma able to find Otzel. Rose falls to the Lucio. Down goes Blue. Rage fell late in that fight, not going to be able to get back in time, it seems.
Wait.
Rage tried whatever he can with that Reaper ult. Not able to get anything, and that is Shambali going to the side of Western.
Well, it's okay. We've got 2 more maps.
That's true.
They got to win 2, we got to win 1.
It could technically be more than 2 maps. We could see a draw on a hybrid.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, no, that... I think it was a very smart map choice from Western there.
Yeah, they seemed incredibly comfortable in that Sigma comp.
Yeah. you know, just having it seems like they are much more comfortable on a more poke style comp. Shambali is a very good map for poke. You know, was it winnable? Absolutely, but you drop one map in the last 3 weeks. You're doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's all right. We come back from these for sure. Now, what's really interesting here is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this will be the first time this whole match where Eastern gets to pick the map.
That is correct. It is loser picks.
So we could see some favorable map picks here now.
Well, you also have to think that they're kind of out of bans for the comp we like to play. They've banned the Zarya. They banned the Vendetta. Yes, they could ban Kiriko, but they are also playing Kiriko, so I would be shocked if they did that. Plus, in that case, we can just go to Juno Brig, which we are also very comfortable on.
It's like we're going to Midtown.
You know, Midtown. Not a shocking choice here from Eastern. Plays very well into the style we like to play, having that Vendetta just, you know, jumping in with that. Excuse me. Jumping in with those bubbles, you know, taking a couple of slashes at the back line, spinning out, maybe getting a second bubble if need be. I wouldn't be shocked if we are sticking on that Cass. We're still waiting on the bans to come in, but I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, we're still on that Juno Kiri. Yeah, no, I am expecting this map to be a lot more favorable for Eastern. You know, Midtown does not lend itself as well to poke. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, is if poke is their most comfortable comp, it does definitely work here. But like we were talking about before, there's not really anything left to ban on EMU's comfortable comp.
I also wouldn't even be shocked if we throw out a Sigma ban. Just eliminating any chance of them playing that poke comp. Because we've already banned Lucio, so we can't do that again. We aren't going to ban Kiri. We aren't going to ban Juno. Yeah, no, if we have first ban, if we either have first ban or they ban first and don't ban a tank, I would not be shocked to see Sigma banned. Maybe they ban Cass.
I mean, with hit scans, though, it's like, come on. Like,
I mean,
are you really going to ban a hit scan?
That's Blue's just going to go over to Emre. And, I mean, we saw what he did on Atlas on Emre. Like,
yeah, banning Cass doesn't really do anything to the comp.
Yeah, no, it's... I really just don't know what direction you go with for a ban for Western here. Western is going to have to get creative with their ban here.
Maybe they do ban Kiri. Maybe they are that scared of it.
I mean, but like I said, even if they ban that Kiriko, I think we are better on Juno Brig. I know Nyx very much likes playing that Brig. You know, Rose loves playing Juno. Interesting. We banned the Mei.
Okay.
And they have banned Juno.
Okay. No, actually, this is interesting. No, this is interesting. Okay. That Mei got a lot of value last map, so I'm not super surprised to see that. Juno, though, that's interesting.
Yeah, I do think that Mei is better than Sig on Midtown. I mean, I don't think either of them are great either way, but the Juno ban is very interesting. I would not be shocked if we saw Rose back on Kiriko and Nyx on the Brig.
I think it would work.
That, or maybe we...
Maybe the Lucio gets pulled out.
I feel like any path here is going to lead to Rose being on Kiriko for this map, just because that Juno is banned, and Kiriko, I think, is her second most comfortable support character. as we are getting ready to head into Midtown here. I'm going to have Eastern starting on attack here. Excuse me. I'm interested to see how the comps end up looking here.
Now, what I'm hoping to see is a Winston. Dang it.
It does look like NACE is still looking towards playing that Kiriko. Western Michigan is going to stay on that Sigma comp. You know, they don't have the Mei this time. I do find it interesting that Rage is hovering on Reaper here. I would think that they would want to go back towards that Vendetta just because they are finding so much value out of it, as it looks like NACE does swap over to the Brig. Interesting. It looks like we are going towards a Kiri Ana. I don't
think we've seen this in a match before, but it's possible that they've been scrimming it.
It is entirely possible. I just think that Ana is in a very interesting point in meta right now. As they are just, you know, engaging here. Otzel has, you know, a little bit of charge, falling a little bit low, needs to back up, play behind cover, let himself get healed up. As Rage is going in for another TP, gets that bubble, able to find that M-Ray early. As he's just looking to take down anyone he can. That rock comes out of the Sigma. As Otzel is full charge, is able to just kind of start walking down the enemy. Nyx finds a pick over onto that Lucio. As the cast is going to find Rage, but Otzel trades out their cast in return, finds the Kiri, is going to take down that Sigma. And as Western Michigan is just running back towards spawn. I don't know if this is, hey, we're regrouping or we're switching characters. We are switching.
All swapping. Oh, they're
we are
hard
off
swapping.
Of Cass and Emray. We are over towards Tracer Soj on the side of Western. I am interested in the Tracer pickup here.
Now, what it might be is they may have seen the Ana, and now they're interested in trying to catch the Ana out with the Tracer.
I wouldn't be shocked. You could also see the Tracer as just, hey, you are going to disrupt point as much as you can, make sure that point is just not constantly moving. As Rose is just kind of sitting back here, healing up the team, kind of unbothered at the moment. Just keeping good sightlines on their team. Otzel, you know, just poking through, giving a bubble over to Rage. Ooh, Rage falling just getting focused down by the enemy team. You kind of got to reset here if you're Eastern, you know, being down. Rose trying to get the sleep, unable to hit that shot, unfortunately. As, you know, Eastern falls there. Did Otzel get out with charge? I don't believe I saw him go down.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got out with charge. That is very good for us here. As we are coming in on 3 ults. Western only has the rush to contend with that. Blue just kind of poking towards that Tracer. Did swap over to that Cass, probably because the Tracer got picked. As Rage TP's in and falls down again. That grab is going to come out, just not going to able to find the Lucio for it. But the rest of Eastern kind of getting traded out behind him. Otzel able to find that Sojourn. They're trying to keep this fight going. As you've got Otzel and I believe Nyx still up. Otzel just trying to force them back into their spawn as best as he can, taking that high ground. Otzel taking some pot shots from the Kiri, just trying to build up as much of that rush as she can after she used it that fight.
Now, what's interesting here is I'm noticing that, I don't know if the Sigma's doing this intentionally.
That's a pulse bomb miss from the Tracer.
That's good for us. I don't know if the Sigma's doing this intentionally, but these bubbles are getting shielded off.
That is interesting. I don't know if that is... I almost don't see the value in that, because the best you're hoping for is that bubble pops and they can't get healed. But a lot of the times when the bubbles are going onto Rage, he can ideally wraith out without dying. As that Sigma falls incredibly low, Rage is going to use that Blossom. Sigma does use hands, able to generate a lot of shields off of it.
But it goes down just the same.
Rage falling very low towards that Sojourn Tracer duo. As Otzel is just trying to melt down this Tracer, able to get a nice right-click melee onto her. As it's just as it's Otzel versus the Soj, as the West of Western flows back in. You've still got NACE there trying to help out. Rose is back on the high ground, doing what she can, trying to keep Otzel up. You know, just pumping as much heals as she can into him. That Tracer is going to harass her, going to fall down, as Otzel is going to get staggered here. That is a fight win on the side of Western, but over on the side of Eastern, it does look like we're switching things up. We are off of that Ana over onto the Kiriko for Rose, as NACE does swap over to that Brig.
This does make a lot of sense. This Tracer's getting a lot of value. Kind of difficult to stay alive on Ana here. Swap to something that's a little bit more resistant to it.
Yeah, no, like, you cannot blame Rose at all for struggling against a Tracer as Ana. Like, unless you are constantly hitting your sleep dart on her, she is just going to be constantly harassing you. As Sigma is coming in with that Gravitic Flux, looking to find something there. Doesn't find anything, as Blue did use High Noon, not finding anything with that. Sigma uses hands under the threat of Otzel's beam as Western drops back towards point. Rage just looking around, trying to find someone to shoot at, finds a Sig poking at him. Falling a little bit low, able to be kept up by his supports. Does fall low, Sojourn does find him out. As Otzel just trying to look for something, as the Soj gets the other DPS in blue. Down goes Nyx, and Otzel, at this point, you're just looking to get out with charge if you can. Falling incredibly low, it does not quite go down. Looking to see if he can maybe get that Lucio, unable to find that.
But he lives with all that charge going into this next fight.
You know, I mean, you're going into this fight, you've got Grav coming up, you've got Rush coming up. Depending, you might get a rally built here. You're up against an Overclock, a Rush, and probably a Gravitic Flex if the Sigma is up long enough. Just gonna D-peek from that Soj ult. That Tracer tries to blink in, doesn't find anything. Sojourn trying to poke, find anything that she can. The Kiriko uses Suzu, doesn't find anything. As two go down on the side of Eastern. Down goes Rage. They're not going to be able to get another touch here. That is going to be where Eastern's attack ends. Almost capping second point. This is very winnable.
Yeah, it's not super surprising. You know, the one point where the Sigma comp is really good on Midtown, guess what? They hold.
The second point, yep.
Now, the thing with this map is I don't think that Sigma comp's going to be doing very well on first point here.
No,
I think it's going to be very difficult to push in like that.
Yes, it is hard for him to push in because ideally, you know, you get a deep shield going with Sigma. Your shield isn't going to stay up that long if they're able to focus down and just pop your shield. And, you know, at best, maybe you're looking to just cut off heals from your main tank, but it does look like we've got a nice, it does look like we are, I did hear them talking about this a little bit. Rose is on Mercy.
Well, the good news is...
It does look like, I have heard some discussion about this, going over, maybe looking to play some of that pharmacy. You know, you have NACE over on that Kiriko. Still have Otzel in blue. On those, you know, characters, very comfortable for them on that Zarya and that Cass. I wouldn't be shocked if we still see a lot of our bubbles going towards, towards Rage.
It's going to depend on what they swap to here. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap to double hit scan after this first fight.
Yeah, it does look like they're trying to go through the alleyway. Sigma Shield does get popped near instantly. As Otzel takes some damage, you know, able to get some charge out of it as well, as Rage is off on the side here, just poking at the enemies. You know, a Mercy boosted rocket does not feel good as Blue finds that Tracer early. Sigma just trying to get a foothold on point here, not able to find anything. Otzel falling a little bit low here, but has those bows to keep himself up. As Rage has this pocket to keep him alive, Blue finds that final blow onto the Sigma. Down goes the Sojourn, and they have swapped off of that Tracer. over onto Emre. I wouldn't be surprised if they stay on the Sojourn, just because if you just build up that rail is hit scan, and it's a lot of damage.
That is true.
As Western is trying to re-engage here, looking to go back towards that alley again. As they push forward, Sigma uses Rock, not able to find anything, looking to try and get Nyx there. As Otzel is trying to build up the charge he can with these bubbles. Sigma pushing forward, looking to take some space towards that point, uses Rock again. Lucio pushing up very far. As the Emre does manage to find Blue. Rage trying to take an off angle here, poke in. As that Emre is gonna find two, Sojourn finds one himself. It is just our pharmacy left here. Down goes Rage, and I don't imagine that the Mercy survives much longer than that. Heading into second point here, it is going to be a long hold for Eastern. They have 4.5 minutes that they have to hold here.
But as long as that Sigma keeps missing rocks like that, it'll be nice and easy.
Yeah. As long as they do not let him gain control of this high ground, they're going to be in a much better position. Otzel trying to just rebuild that charge as quick as he can. That rock comes through, not finding anything. Otzel has built up grab here. Blue finds an early pick onto that Emre. As Eastern is coming up on 5 ults here. Western a little bit behind on 5 ults, but coming up just the same.
Someone call for security.
As Rage, excuse me, as Rage picks his perk, I'm almost surprised that they take the one that makes some of your health shields that regen on directs.
You know, maybe they just find some value and just that little bit of extra healing, be able to stay on boost there.
His ult here, able to find Rage on Pharah. There's not an angle that Rose can really go in for that res, as Sojourn does take out Blue. Otzel able to find 2 though. Rose could look to go for a res onto Blue here maybe. Decides against it, needs to keep her team up. As she just pockets Otzel as he is just melting through the enemy team here. I don't imagine that the Sigma really makes it out. Unfortunately, the Lucio is enough of a distraction that he does, but the Lucio does trade his life for it.
And you know what? That's fine, because that's another fight win for EMU.
I would not be shocked if we are going to look to go in with Barrage here early. You're going to have Mercy on that. You're going to have Rose on Mercy on that damage boost. You're going to have a bubble, hopefully, from Otzel there. You know, you don't need to get 5 with Barrage. If you can get 1, maybe 2 with it. As he's looking here, the bubble gets popped immediately. That Otzel going in a little deep gets picked off by that Lucio. Trades out the Sigma in return. Rose falls as well as Blue, but the Kiri goes down as well. You have rushes traded back and forth as Rage finds the Kiri. You got Rage and Nyx here just trying to hold on whatever they can.
It was a trade for trade fight. It's 3v3.
Western not pushing the point really. A nice shot there from Rage. It takes out the Sojourn. At this point, as Eastern, you kind of just need to drop down and stop the point from moving. It's just the Lucio down there. He's able to get out.
Yeah, with point as far as it is now, we've got a spawn advantage. So in those trade fights there, we're just going to have more people eventually. Rage used that Barrage last fight. It's coming up again. Emre looking to use that override protocol, trying to find what he can. This High Noon doing very well to zone out that Emre ult. Blue does unfortunately fall, getting zoned out by that Soji. As Rose gets taken down by the Emre. Eastern kind of just looking to disengage here, get out with whatever resources they can, regroup to just take a stronger fight as a team. They did use that Kiri ult there. They used the Emre ult. You're looking at this as Eastern. You've got Mercy ult, you've got Pharah ult. A nice bubble there will keep them up. Beautiful touch.
That's 0.5 meters. That's 3 down for Eastern, though. That's 4. Otzel gets pushed off of the cart. That is going to be a second map for Western.
It's very unfortunate, but we've seen EMU come back from these two situations.
Absolutely. Otzel, get in the play there. That's the smallest silver lining. So as Eastern here,
I just really
What
want to
are
see
our
it.
options?
I want to see a Sigma ban. That's what I'm looking at. I just want to see a Sigma ban.
You know,
Get them off that character.
I do think that Sigma will. I think that Sigma ban is the right choice here. You know, it is very clear that Western's tank is very comfortable on that Sigma. You know, if you take him off of that, it probably forces him back onto the Orisa, which I feel like does favor you a lot more. As if I remember correctly, the last game mode that we have to go to is push.
Push. Okay.
It is our map choice. I'm not 100% sure of which maps are in the pool. I know that Esperanza is. I don't know if it's Runasapi, New Queens, or Coliseo in the map pool as well.
Honestly, with a lot of the changes that they've been making to some of the push maps, honestly, I think most of the push maps are pretty okay now.
I would agree. I mean, I feel like New Queen Street is probably the most balanced.
Probably.
Maybe that or
I
Coliseo,
don't
just
know.
because they're the two that have been in the game the longest.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I remember hearing that New Queen Street was not in the map pool, but I also don't have the map pool memorized. So
That is true. I believe that we are going to go to a short break here as the players get ready for map 5 here. So we will go to a short break, and we will be back for the final map of the EMU Overwatch regular season. All right, welcome back to the map 5 of, you could call it a rivalry game, East versus West. Map 5 of some EMU Esports Overwatch here. You know, started out 2-0. We've dropped the last 2 maps. But we are going to our map 5. Only game mode we have not played so far is Push. We will be going to Push. Specifically, we will be going to Esperanza. In response to that, I feel like made a smart choice. We have banned the Sigma.
We did it, guys. Sigma is
has
dead.
kind of been running us over the past 2 maps. You know, hopefully this will kind of curtail that. In return, they banned Cass. You know, Blue, very comfortable on that character, but it's Hitscan in general. You can kind of get away with playing a couple of different characters. I wouldn't be shocked to see him on Emre. As well as I could see us going, you know, sticking with the Zarya stuff, maybe putting Rage back onto Vendetta, as well as we'll be back on that Juno Kiri. The only other thing I could maybe see us going on would be Diva.
Maybe. I mean, realistically, EMU has all of the options in the world here. None of their good comps got banned out, whereas Western, the comp that they just won the last 2 maps with, they can't really play anymore.
You know, it does look like Western is angling towards running Ramatra here. I mean, with that Kiri Lu, that Sim kind of having those TPs to get him around, get him access to those high grounds. As Eastern is back on that comfort comp, we're back onto that Vendetta Zar. We're on Emre, we're on Juno Kiri. You know, it's, you know, we look our best on this comp. I have high hopes. So we're jockeying for position here. Western does take control of the mid fight first. Rage goes in, gets some charge for Otzel. Just slashing around, seeing if he can find anything. Gets a shot onto that Tracer, forces recall. As the Tracer has to blink away, use recall. Rage just kind of ordering the enemy team away from the point. As he goes in towards
Suzu.
that Kiri, forces Suzu out. Is able to get out with his life. As it seems like Western is half trying to flip the map. This Tracer going behind, kind of poking out towards Blue. Is going to be forced to recall again as Rage is looking, hunting for this backline, trying to find anybody. Looks to go on that Soj, doesn't find anything, but that Soj does fall incredibly low, gets taken down as well as that Ramatra. Down goes the Tracer as well, and that is going to be an early fight win here for Eastern as we start building up some distance on that push bot.
And it's a really good first fight to win here as now we get access to this high ground, which is going to be really difficult to push in with that Ramatra comp. They don't really have a ton of access to high ground. You see that they do swap to Emre
They swap
here.
off of that Tracer going over to that Emre. I mean, I'm not shocked by this. I imagine they just tried the Tracer since they know they can't be counter swapped with that Cass.
And EMU gets to cap first here.
You know, that is big for them to get that as you know, the community calls it butt scratch.
Very big.
As Rage is just looking to go in, slashes onto that Ramatra, taking him down to half health, just poking him out. Ramatra has to use big form. Nyx is able to find that kill as the Soch does trade one out, but down goes the Emre, and Western is just going to have to run as fast as they can away from Eastern.
The classic 2-for-1.
As Rage finds the Sojourn, is looking to take them out. Soj able to slide, gets just enough distance to get out. As they do just have Blue back on this bot, I believe, with Nyx. Otzel just trying to take whatever space he can with his charge as it slowly diminishes. He needs Rage to jump in here, build him up some more charge. As Blue is going in with that override protocol, looking to poke somebody down, looking towards that Kiri, does find the kill. That Ramatra falling incredibly low. Blue finding 2 with the override. This Emre character is disgusting.
They banned Cass?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think they banned the Cass because they were hoping that the Tracer would find some more value, but Eastern just not stopping here. They are just holding W as that as the rush comes out. The ult from the Ramatra does find 2, but I mean, again, it's unfortunately, I do think that that trade is a little bit more worthwhile for Western. They, they invested the rush and the annihilation from the Ramatra. In return, they did get Eastern's rush, Eastern's grab, and their Vendetta ult. As well as Override Protocol was used that fight before. So Western is in a much better position ult-wise, but I mean, if you can dry fight here, get an ult or two out of them. Ooh, Rage falling incredibly early there is not a good sign there, but Western uses 2 ults anyways. They use that Override Protocol and they use the B. I mean, that will get them the kills, but if Ozil can get out with charge here, they're going to be Eastern's going to be in a good position to take this next fight here.
As far as I'm concerned, Eastern won that fight.
Yeah,
they used a lot of ults.
They have the Sojourn ult, but I mean, yes, Eastern doesn't have anything right now, but those ults could have been spaced out over the next couple of fights, and Eastern would have been in a much worse position. As the Ramatra is just on point here, kind of throwing in some damage, just forcing Eastern back, as Eastern is just kind of waiting to regroup and engage here. The Sojourn positioned up on high ground, probably looking to use that overclock here soon, as Western has to fall back as Eastern kind of starts pushing the bot back towards mid. Sojourn uses overclock, looking to find anything here, but Eastern does a very good job of just de-peeking from that ult. Unfortunately, Ozil does get caught out here. Rose falling incredibly low, does manage to find her way out. Blue does the same thing, managing to keep himself alive, get out. As Rage does swap over from Vendetta onto that Reaper. I believe that was the fight before, I just did not realize. As Western is getting very aggressive, trying to push Eastern back. Here comes
the
Rage.
Reaper guy does come in from the side.
Just trying to find what he can. Blue with his Override Protocol once again trying to find something. Nothing comes of it. As this Annihilation comes out, finds one, but Eastern does trade out the Kiri in return. As the Ramatra goes down to that Emre, Sojourn does find the Reaper in return, but it's not a clean fight on either side. Western does come out on top in that fight, is managing to continue pushing that bot. Eastern does still have that lead. They are coming back with a couple of ults here coming up. They've got that rush on deck. They've got the Blossom. They've got Grab coming up. As on the side of Western, you've got that Override Protocol and support ults.
Very important, though. It's taken Western a lot longer to push to this position than it took EMU to push to their position.
You can see as Eastern uses their rush, just looking to focus down that Ramatra very quickly, managing to do it. That Sojourn falling very low. Blue finding that Emre on the side. As Otzel is just kind of throwing pot shots, hoping to keep them low so that Rage can maybe go in and get a late pick, but that Lucio is able to speed his team out. And that is a fight win for Eastern off of just that Kiri rush.
That is what we like to see.
Rage teleporting in is going to get some charge, able to get out with his life, as Otzel is taking some high ground here with his right clicks.
I'm really liking using that perk there to get up to that high ground. I'm like that perk is viable now.
Yeah, no, it is very nice as Western does look to use their rush on the high ground here, but Rose finds the Kiri early. Emre takes himself out as Rage takes down one with Blossom, and Blue finds the Ramatra.
And all this time, NACE has been pushing the point.
Pushing the point. They're back towards Western spawn, and they don't need to push it any further. They don't need to use ults here. It's, hey, we are in their spawn. If we can make them use their ults in their own spawn, that is a win for us. As Western just kind of cleans up this fight. Using 2 ults in that fight, plus the Kiri ult last fight. The only thing they have is that Lucio beat. They're pushing into Blue with that Override Protocol, and Rose with that Orbit. It looks to be a rough fight for Western here. As Blue uses the grenade, boosts himself up in ult. Needs to drop down to get some healing as he gets focused down by that Sojourn. Well played by Western. As Rage is just poking around, able to TP out on low health. Gonna get some healing from his supports. As Nyx does fall to that Emre, but not before he does get that Lucio trade. Also positioning up here, trying to make sure that Western does not get any push for free here. Using his bubble, getting some energy off of that Ramatra punching. You know, Western just unable to push here without that Lucio. He's kind of the linchpin of this whole comp. Without that speed, Ramatra is just going to be able to get caught out so easily as Rage TP's back in here with another bubble. Just trying to focus down that Ramatra, giving him some back shots.
That Ramatra, he ain't going nowhere. He's
just
dead.
Taken down. Rose getting the finishing blow there. Kind of poking down at the enemy team. Just, you know, nothing that Western can do here once that Ramatra goes down. It's, you know, he is going to get close spawn as Eastern does push that bot back towards mid. But Eastern is going to have this high ground for this fight.
Now, the unfortunate part here is that Western's coming up on a lot of ults, and it's going to take us a little bit longer to get those. But as long as we're able to farm very quick here.
On some geometry. As they're just using a lot of ults here. Rage not getting out of that annihilation, but able to take him down before it does anything to him. That Lucio falling low, able to get taken out by Otzel. As Nyx, again, is just taking the bot back towards Western spawn. And how does he do it?
You know, they're a little sneaky like that, you know?
You know, I mean, they must have busted Kiriko's sneaking. You know, Nyx, they have done that twice. As Rage comes in with with my favorite character, the Reaper guy, his special move, honestly one of the best in the game. Blue able to find the Kiriko as Western uses that override protocol, just trying to get the bot back out of their spawn, trying to find anything with his ult. Blue uses the ult in return, able to grab that Emre by Otzel. And I mean, we're in overtime here as Eastern just cleans up the fight. Blue gets another 2 with override. Rage gets 2 on his own.
Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between,
Eastern does not get reverse swept.
What a match. Wow, that was some good Overwatch.
I don't know if the stream can hear it in the background, but you have Nyx out back there yelling real loud as Blue picks up another play of the game here. I imagine, yeah, it's going to be this override protocol picking up. I mean, those are probably the 2 biggest picks you can get with that. Taking out that Kiriko, taking out that Ramatra, it's, I mean, you can't ask for 2 better picks with that ult. As
Otzel holding up the Uno reverse card.
Otzel holding up that Uno reverse card. Saying no. No reversal here. I mean, just a very well done final map there. You know, a couple of things that they could clean up here and there. As I believe that we will be getting an interview from somebody. We are getting... Oh, we're in suspense here.
Ooh, could be anyone.
It is looking like it might be Nyx here. Here, if you want to grab that headset on the ottoman there.
Yeah. I'm going to not trip over myself.
Just... As we have the main turned flex support Nyx here, you know, maybe a bit of a closer match than was expected. You know, everything looked, you know, first map, you know, first round looked a little shaky, kind of just shaking off the rust. Second round, a lot more dominant, just no question there. Atlas outside of second point, you know, I saw on second point you got caught out like once on point alone as Brig. Yeah, you're like, Brig, not the choice here. Swap back over to that Kiri. Take us through what happened on maps 3 and 4. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right. And Midtown. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just constantly harassing, especially when Rose was on Ana, just harassing her constantly. I did see you swap over to Brig, trying to mitigate that a little bit. Yeah. I don't think so.
It wasn't that map, I don't think. No, I don't think so.
No, because it was Akiri Lucio, which was, you know, moving the Sigma around to whatever point he wanted to be on. I think you guys banned Lucio on Atlas.
Yeah, it was Atlas. It was Atlas.
Was there a reason you guys did not ban Sig on Midtown? Because you guys banned, I think it was May. Right. All right. Well, I mean, that closes out your guys' regular season undefeated, 5-0.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you get close to losing, you didn't lose. I know we still have a lot of questions about how playoffs are formatted, so we are still waiting on info for that from NACE. I mean, at this point, you know, we know that we're guaranteed into playoffs. Like, yeah, like if you don't make it into playoffs, it's questionable how this tournament is being run overall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any final thoughts, comments, concerns? That's the weirdest thing. Is so with Taco Bell's, it is what is available varies Taco Bell to Taco Bell. I typically get the classic Lux box with beefy 5-layer burrito, Doritos Locos Taco, cinnamon twists. And then usually, if I'm feeling a little crazy, you get a side of Cinnabon Delights. Elite. Yeah.
Look, okay. So my Taco Bell order, I'm a big fan of the Supreme Lux box. It's a little bit more, but it's still cheaper than literally everything else on the menu.
Oh no, is your mic not on?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I can hear myself.
Yeah,
I
I
was
say
gonna
we
say,
can hear
unless
you.
it's just not going.
That's so
That's so
funny.
tragic.
That's so funny. I've been talking this whole
No.
time.
No.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's well. So I'll summarize what you said. Shambali issue was just alt economy was not being rotated properly. Midtown Tracer was just an issue, constantly harassing. And we started talking about Taco Bell because you asked us what our go-to order is.
Of course, because I got told any last comments, questions, or concerns.
Yes. Any last comments, questions, concerns, and your concerns were Taco Bell.
Of course, because I need to figure out what I want for dinner tonight.
I think you figured it out.
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say,
saying.
did either of our
Might be
suggestions?
true. Might be true. Nah, dude. I don't do any of what you guys do.
What do you do?
You get, with the new edition, with new releases, they have these beefy potato grillers. The best item on the menu. I get 2 of those with no chipotle sauce, and I add shredded cheese because, you know. And then I do a cinnamon twists, and then I do a Gatorade because I don't fuck with. I like Baja Blast, but the fruit
Language.
punch Gatorade is fucking heat. Excuse my language.
Everything you said, right? Good opinion.
Okay.
Why no chipotle sauce?
I don't like it. It has a weird aftertaste. I don't like it.
Anyways,
Overwatch.
yeah, that I believe will wrap up our final regular season stream.
I'm excited for playoffs.
If it is feasible, we will be back for playoffs.
Yeah.
We are just waiting for the information about it.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
We will be back. We will go undefeated through playoffs, and we will
Take the crown.
be champions once again.
True. Hopefully. Praying.
But otherwise, that will do it for us here from EMU Esports.
Thank you all for those who tuned into the stream.
Yeah, no, it was more of a nail biter than we expected, but you come out with the victory. Who cares how the match plays out? And we will see you guys in the next esports stream. Hopefully more Overwatch.
Hopefully soon.